Review for Exam 3. Fundamentals of Information Systems, 9th edition. Chapter 8, Systems Acquisitions and Development. Waterfall System Development Process. Waterfall System Development Process, a sequential multi-stage system development process. Work on the next stage cannot begin until the results of the current stage are reviewed and approved or modified as necessary. There are 6 phases: investigation, analysis, design, construction, integration, testing, and implementation. System investigation. System investigation. Initial phase of development of a new or modified business information system whose purpose is to gain a clear understanding of specifics of the problem to solve or opportunities to address. Steps in the investigation phase. 1. Review system investigation request. 2. Identify and recruit a team leader and team members. 3. Develop budget and schedule for investigation. 4. Performance investigation. 5. Perform preliminary feasibility analysis. 6. Prepare draft of investigation report. 7. Review results of investigation with steering committee. System investigation. Review systems investigations request. A systems investigation request includes a preliminary statement of the problem or opportunity to address, a brief discussion of how the effort aligns with previous defined companies and organizations' objectives, goals, and strategies, identification of general areas of business and business's process to be included in the scope of the study. System investigation. Identify and recruit team leader and team members. A leader is identified and recruiting after managers grant approval to initiate systems investigation. Investigation team members chosen next. Investigation team responsibilities. Gather and analyze data. Prepare an investigation phase report. Present results to project steering team. System investigation. Develop budget and schedule for investigation. The team develops a list of specific objectives and activities to accomplish along with a schedule for completing the work. A team establishes major milestones to help monitor progress. A budget is prepared, including travel expenses and funds for consultants. System investigation. Perform investigation. Refine the initial problem, definitions, and scope described in the systems investigation request. Identify the high-level business requirements the system must meet. Identify any issues or risks associated with the project. Joint application development. A structured meeting process that can accelerate and improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the investigation, analysis, and design phases of the system development project. Functional decomposition, a technique used during the investigation. Analyze and design phases to define the business processes included within the scope of the system. System investigation. Perform preliminary feasibility analysis. Components of the feasibility analysis. Technical feasibility. Examines whether a project is feasible within the current limits of the available technology. Economic feasibility determines whether the expected benefits associated with the project outweigh the expected cost sufficiently to make the project financially attractive. Legal feasibility, the process of determining whether laws or regulations may prevent or limit a system development project. Operational feasibility, the process of determining how a system will be accepted by people and how will it meet various system performance expectations. Schedule feasibility, the process of determining whether a project can be completed within the desired time frame. System investigation, prepare a draft of the investigation report. A system investigation report that summarizes the results of the system investigation or recommended a course of action, possible actions, continue on the system analysis, modify the project in some manner, and perhaps repeat the system investigation phase. Drop the project altogether. Figure 8.4. System investigation recommendation. A system investigation report summarizes results of the system investigation and recommends course of action. System investigation. Review results of the investigation with the steering committee. The systems investigation report is reviewed with the steering team to gain their input and counsel. Input is used to finalize the system investigation report. Systems analysis. The overall emphasis of the systems analysis is on gathering data on the existing system, determining requirements for the new system, considering alternatives within the identified constraints, investigate the feasibility of alternative solutions. Steps in the systems analysis phase. 1. Identify and recruit team leaders and team members. Develop a budget and schedule for systems analysis activities. Study existing system. Develop prioritized set of requirements. Identify and evaluate alternative solutions. Perform feasibility analysis. Prepare draft of systems analysis report. Review results of the system analysis with the steering committee. Systems analysis. Identify and recruit team leader and team members. Some members of the original investigation team participating in the systems analysis provide project continuity. Develop budget and schedule for systems analysis activities. The team developed a list of specific objectives and activities required to complete the systems analysis and developing along with a schedule. The team establishes major milestones to track progress. A budget is prepared, including travel expenses and funds for outside resources. Study existing systems. Identify the strengths and weaknesses of an existing system. Examine current input, output, processes, security and controls, and system performance. Data collection methods, JAD sessions, direct observation, survey. Figure 8.6. Internal and external sources of data systems analysis, JAD sessions, direct observation and surveys. They are often used to uncover data from various sources. Systems analysis. Develop prioritized set of requirements. Priority categories, critical, medium priority, low priority. JAD sessions provide an effective way to determine systems requirements. Ask managers to produce a list of critical factors, CSFS. Processes must be further defined in individuals, organizations, responsibilities, and process steps identified. Data flow diagrams, DFDS, provides a model of proposed new systems. Systems analysis. Develop prioritized set of requirements continued. System performance. Factors in determining system performance. Timeliness of output. Ease of use. Scalability. Systems response time. Availability. Reliability. Systems analysis. Perform feasibility analysis. An in-depth feasibility analysis is done for each of the candidates' solution the team wants to consider. Prepare draft of systems analysis report. Systems analysis concludes with formal systems analysis report summarizing the findings of this phase of the project. Review results of the systems analysis with steering team. The systems analysis report is presented in the project steering team with a recommendation to stop, revise, or go forward with the systems development project. The project sponsored and the steering team must formally approve any changes. System design. System design creates a complete set of technical specifications that can be used to construct the information system. Steps in the system design phase. Identify and recruit team leader and team members. Develop schedule and budget for system design activities. Design user interface. Design system security and controls. Design disaster recovery plan. Design database. Perform feasibility analysis. 8. Prepare draft of the system design report. 9. Review the results of the system design with the steering committee. System design. Identify and recruit team leaders and team members. Some of the members of the systems analysis team participating in system design ensure project continuity. Develop schedule and budget for systems design activities. The system design team develops a list of specific objectives and activities required to complete the system design. The group prepares a budget for completing the system design. System design user interface. How the user experiences the information system determines whether the system will be accepted and used. User interface design integrates concepts and methods from computer science, graphic design, and psychology to build interfaces that are acceptable, easy to use, and efficient. Table 8.6, Principles of Good User Interface. System design. Design system security and control. Specific system security and control must be developed for all aspects of information system: hardware, software, database systems, telecommunication, internet operations. Table 8.7, Using system controls to enhance security. System design. Design disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plan, a documented process to recover an organization's business information systems assets, including hardware, software, data, networks, and facilities in the event of disaster. Mission-critical processes play a pivotal role in the organization's continued operations and goal attainment. Table 8.8, Various disasters can disrupt business operations. System design. Design database. Steps in designing a database. A schema and is entered into a DBMS using data definition language. A data dictionary is established. Choose a vendor. Final evaluations begin with the detailed investigation of contenders' proposals. Vendor should make the final presentation included a performance evaluation test. Perform feasibility analysis. Reassess the technical, economical, legal, operational, and schedule feasibilities based on the results of the system's design finding. System design. Review results of the system design with the steering team. The system design report is presented to the project steering team with recommendations to stop, revise, or go forward with the system development project. At the end of the design phase, organizations employing the waterfall system development process freeze the scope and user and business requirements. Any potential changes must go through a formal scope change process. Construction. System construction converts a system design into operational system. Steps of the system construction phase. Code software components. Create and load data. Perform unit testing. Code software components. Software tools used to generate program source code. Template-driven code generators. Screen painters. Menu creation software. Report generation software. Technical and user documentations are required. Construction. Create and load data. Construction. Create and load data. This step involves making sure that all files and databases are populated and ready to be used with the new information. It may be necessary to write program, to read the old data files from the several sources, to format the data to be compatible with the new system, and merge data sources together. Construction. Perform unit testing. Unit testing. Testing the ideally forces of individual programs to execute all of its various functions and user features. Each program is also tested with abnormal input to determine how it will handle erroneous data. Construction. Create a load test. This step involves making sure that all files and databases are populated and ready to be used with the new information. It may be necessary to write a program to read all files, merge them together. I think we did that. Perform unit testing. Integration testing and testing. Types of testing. Integration testing, system testing, volume testing, user acceptance testing, Integration testing involves linking all the individual components together and testing them as a group to uncover any defects between individual components. System testing. Testing the complete integration system to validate that information system meets all specified requirements. Integration testing. Volume testing involves evaluating the performance of the information system under varying yet realistic work volumes and operating conditions. Goals of system testing are: determine the workload at which systems begins to degrade, eliminate issues that prevent the system from reaching its required performance. User acceptance testing, UAT, is testing performed by trained system users to verify that the system can complete required tasks in a real-world operation environment and perform according to the system's design specification. Implementation. Steps involved in implementation: user preparation, site preparation, installation, cutover. User preparation. User preparation is the process of readying managers' decision-making, employees, and other users and stakeholders to accept the use of the new system. Successful introduction of the information systems requires a mix of organizational change skills and technical skills. User training is very important. Implementation. Site preparation. Site preparation for small systems can be simple by rearranging the furniture in the office to make room for a computer. A large system might require special wiring, air conditioning, or construction. Sufficient lead time should be built into the scheduling to allow for site preparation. Installation. Installation is the process of physically placing the computer equipment on site and making it operational. Implementation. Cutover. Cutover is the process of switching from old information system to a replacement system. Direct conversion, also called plunge or direct cutover, is a high-risk approach. The phase-in approach, piecemeal approach, involves slowly phasing the new system's components as the old system components are phased out. Pilot startup, running a complete new system for only one group of users. Parallel startup, running both the old and new systems and comparing output. System operation and maintenance. Steps of the operation and maintenance phase: operation, maintenance, disposal. Systems operation involves using a new or modified system under all of the operating conditions. Getting the most out of the new systems is the most important aspect of the operation. A formal help desk is beneficial for employees and customers. Monitoring involves measuring systems performance by tracking the number of errors encountered, the amount of memory required, the amount of processing or CPU time required. Systems review, the process of analyzing systems to make sure they are operating as intended. System operation and maintenance. System maintenance. A stage of the system's development that involves changing and enhancing the systems to make it more useful in achieving user and organization goals. Reasons for program maintenance: poor system performance, change in business process, change in needs of the system stakeholder users and managers, bugs or errors in the program, technical and hardware problems, corporate mergers and acquisitions, change in government regulations, change in operating systems or hardware within the application. Systems operation and maintenance. Maintenance continue. 4 acceptable categories signify the amount of change involved in the maintenance. Slipstream upgrade, a minor upgrade or a code adjustment or a minor bug. A patch, a minor change to make the correction or make a small enhancement. Release, a significant program change. Software document changes are required. Version, a major programming change. Figure 8.16. System maintenance efforts. The chart shows the relative amount of change and effort associated to test and implement slipstream upgrade patches, releases, and versions. Systems operation and maintenance. Disposal. The system disposal involves those activities ensuring that the orderly dissolution of the system. Steps involved in a system disposal. Communicate intent. All key stakeholders should be notified months in advance of the actual shutdown. Terminate contracts. Contact vendors will be well in advance to avoid penalties, fees. Make backups of data. Follow the organization's record management policy. Delete sensitive data. Wipe hard drives need to be wiped several times or physically destroyed hard drives. Dispose of hardware. Discard in an environmentally friendly manner. Agile development. An iterative system development process that develops the system in a sprint increments lasting from 2 weeks to 2 months. Concentrate on the maximizing the team's ability to deliver quickly in response to emerging requirements. Scrum. A method to keep agile systems development efforts focused on moving quickly. The Scrum Master coordinates all activities. Extreme Programming, XP, promotes the incremental development of a system using short development cycles, improve productivity, accommodate new customer requirements. DevOps, the practice of blending the tasks performed by the developmental staff and the IT operation group to enable faster and more reliable software releases. Being used as part of a continuous development strategy in which releases are launched daily. Figure 8.18. DevOps is part of the continuation deployment strategy in which releases can be launched daily. Package evaluation phase. Steps in the package evaluation phase include: identify potential solutions, select top contenders, research top contenders, perform final evaluation of leading solutions, make selection, finalize contract. Package evaluation phase. Identify potential solutions. Project team should make a preliminary assessment of the software marketplace to determine whether existing packages can meet the organization needs. Request for information, RFI, is a document that outlines an organization's needs and requests vendors to respond with information about if and how it can meet those needs. Figure 8.2, recommend the table of contents for the information. Package evaluation phase. Select top contenders. Project team will review information provided by vendors in response to the RFI. Selection will be made based on how well the vendor's software appears to meet the organization needs, preliminary cost of timing estimates, information gleaned from references, how easy the vendor has been to work with so far. Package evaluation phase. Research top contenders. Begin with a detailed investigation as well as an in-depth discussion with 2 or 3 of customers of each contender. Contenders should be asked to make final presentations and demonstrate their solution using a performance evaluation test. Conduct in a computing environment with workload that matches the intended operation conditions. Package evaluation phase. Make selection. Weigh factors such as how well the vendor solution matches the needs of the users and business, the amount of efforts required to integrate the new software with existing software. Results of performance evaluation test. Relatively cost, including any software modification, and benefits. The technical, economical, legal, operational, and schedule feasibility. Input from legal and purchasing resources on the legal and financial viability of the contender. Feedback from customers on how well the software performs as how well quality support their vendor. Finalize contract. Develop a fair contract when requiring new computer hardware and software. Allow at least 2 months for review and negotiation of the final contract. Take special precautions in signing contracts with the service provider of cloud computing or service software as a service. Contracts should have provision for monitoring systems modification, quality, and progress, ownership and property rights of the new or modified system, contingency provisions in case something doesn't quite work as expected, dispute resolution if something goes wrong, integration testing, types of testing, integration system volume testing, and user acceptance testing. Implementation. Key implementation tasks include use data flow diagrams to map current business processes and requirements to the software, identify any gaps that must be filled by changing current processes or modify the software. Install the software and configure all its capabilities and operations to meet the project requirements. Customize any aspects of the solution needed for the organization, integration, existing software, and new software. Train end users. Test the software to ensure that it meets all processes and requirements. Convert historical data in old software so it can be used by the new software. Roll out the new software to the users in a live work environment. Provide ongoing end user support and training. Fundamental Information Systems, 9th edition. Chapter 9, Cybercrime and Information Security. The threat landscape. Number of cybercrimes are increasing. Organizations are putting in place a range of countermeasures to combat cybercrime. Computer security incidents surged from 2014 to 2015 in the following industries: public sector organizations, entertainment, media, and communications, technology and telecommunication companies, pharmaceuticals and life sciences, power and utility organizations. Why computer incidents are so prevalent. Increase in complexity increases vulnerability. Cloud computing, networks, computers, mobile devices, virtualization, OS applications, websites, switches, routers, and gateways are interconnected and driven by millions of lines of code. Higher computer and user expectations. Computers' help desks are under intense pressure to respond very quickly to the user's questions. Expanding and changing systems introduce new risks. It's difficult for IT organizations to keep up with the pace of technology change. Successfully perform ongoing assessments of new security risks. The implement approaches in dealing with them. Why computer incidents are so prevalent. Increase prevalence of bring your own PC device policy. Bring your own device, BYOD, a business policy that permits and encourages employees to use their own mobile devices to access company computing resources and applications. BYOD makes it difficult for IT organizations to adequately safeguard additional portable devices with various OS and applications. Growing reliance on commercial software with known vulnerabilities. An exploit and an attack on the information system that takes advantage of a particular system's vulnerability. Often the attack is due to poor system design or implementation. Users should download and install patches for known fixes to software vulnerability. Any delay in doing so exposes the user to potential security breach. Increasing sophistication of those who would do harm. Today's computer menace is organized and may be part of the organized group that has an agenda and targets organization's website. Table 9.2, classifying predators of computer crime. Perpetrators. Types of exploits. Common attacks include ransomware, viruses, worms, Trojan horses, blended threats, spam, distributed denial of service attack, rootkits, advanced persistent threat, phishing, spear phishing, smishing, and phishing. Identify theft, cyber espionage, and cyber terrorism. Types of exploits. Ransomware, malware that stops you from using a computer, accessing your data until you've met certain demands such as paying a ransom or sending photos to the attacker. Viruses. A piece of programming code, usually disguised as something else, that causes a computer to behave in an unexpected and undesirable manner. Spread to other machines when the computer uses share or infected files or sends an email with the virus infected. Worms, a harmful program that resides in the active memory of the computer and duplicates itself, can propagate without human intervention. Types of exploit. Trojan horse, a seemingly harmless program in which hides malicious code. A victim on this receiving end is usually tricked into opening it because it appears to be useful software for a legitimate source. The program's harmful payload might be designed to enable the attacker to destroy hard drives, corrupt files, control the computer remotely, launches attack against other computers, steal passwords, or spy on users. Often creates a backdoor on the computer that enables an attacker to gain future access. Logic bomb, a type of Trojan horse that execute when triggered by a specific event. Types of exploits. Blended threat, a sophisticated threat that combines the features of virus, worm, Trojan horse, and other malicious code into a single payload. Might use server and internet vulnerability to initiate and then transmit the spread attack using exe files, HTML files, and register keys. Spam. The use of an email system to send unsolicited emails to a large number of people. Also an inexpensive way of marketing used by legitimate organizations. Controlling the assault of non-solicited pornographic and marketing. CAN Spam Act states that it is legal to spam provided the message meets a few basic requirements. Spammers cannot disguise their identity by using a false return address. The email must include a label specifying that it is an ad or solicitation. The email must include a way for recipients to opt out of the mass mailing. Types of exploits. Spam continued. CAPTCHA, completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. Software generates and grades tests that humans can pass, and all but the most sophisticated computer programs cannot. Figure 9.1, example of CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is used to distinguish humans from automated bots. Types of exploits. Distributed denial of service attack. An attack in which a malicious hacker takes over a computer via the internet and causes them to flood a target site with demand and for data of other small tasks. Keeps targets so busy responding to requests that legitimate users cannot get in. A botnet, a large group of computers controlled from one or more remote locations by hackers without the consent of their owners, sometimes called zombies, frequently used to distribute spam and malicious code. Types of exploits. Rootkit, a set of program that enables users to gain administration level access to the computer without the end user's consent or knowledge. Attackers can use rootkit to execute files, access logs, monitor user activity, and change the computer's configuration. Symptoms of rootkit infections. Computer locks up or fails to respond to input from the keyboard. Screensavers change without any action on the part of the user. Taskbar disappears. Network activities function extremely slow. Types of exploits. Advanced persistent threats. APT is network attack in which an intruder gains access to the network and stays undetected with the intentions of stealing data over a long period of time. An APT attack advances through the following 5 phases: reconnaissance, incursion, discovery, capture, export. Detecting anomaly in an outbound data is the best way for administrators to discover that the network has been targeted by an APT attack. Types of exploit. Phishing. This act of fraudulently using emails to try to get the recipient to reveal personal data. Con artists send legitimate-looking emails urging recipients to take action to avoid negative consequences or receive an award. Spear phishing is a variation of phishing where fraudulent emails are sent to a certain organization employees, much more precise and narrow, designed to look like it came from a high-level executive within the organization. Types of exploits. Smishing and vishing. Smishing is a variation of phishing that involves using text, and vishing is similar to smishing except that the victims receive voicemail messages telling them the call or phone number or access a website. Identity theft. The theft of a personal information and then used without the permission. Data breach is an unintended release of the sensitive data or the access of the sensitive data by unauthorized individuals. Often results in identity theft. Most e-commerce websites use some form of encryption technology to protect information as it comes from the consumer. Cyber espionage involves the development of malware that secretly steals data from in the computer systems of organizations, such as government agencies, military contractors, political organizations, and manufacturing firms. Mostly targeted towards high-value data such as the following: sales, marketing, and new product development plans, schedules, and budgets. Details about product design and innovation processes. Employees' personal information, customers and client data, sensitive information about partners and partner agreement. Types of exploit. Cyber terrorism. The intimidation of a government of civil population by using information technology to disable critical national infrastructures to achieve political, religious, or ideological goals. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, provides a link that enables users to report cyber incidents. Incident reports go to the U.S. Computer Emergency Ready Team, US-CERT. Cyber terrorists try daily to gain unauthorized access to a number of important and sensitive files. Implementing secure, private, reliable computing. A strong security program begins by assessing threats to the organization's computer and network, identifying the actions that address the most serious vulnerabilities, educating users about the risk involved in the action they must take to prevent security incidents. If an intrusion occurs, there must be a clear reaction plan that addresses notification, evidence protection, activity log maintenance, contamination, eradication, and recovery. Risk assessment. Risk assessment, the process of assessing the security-related risks to an organization's computer and network firm, both internal and external threats. Steps in the general risk assessment process are: identify a set of IS assets about which the organization is most concerned. Identify the loss of events or the risk of threats that could occur. Assess the frequency of events or the likelihood of each potential threat. Determine the impact of each threat occurring. Determine how each threat can be mitigated so it is less likely to occur. Assess the feasibility of implementing mitigation operations. Perform a cost-benefit analysis to ensure that your efforts will cost effect. Make the decision on whether you implement a particular countermeasure. Establishing a security policy. Security policy defines the organization's security requirement along with controls and sanctions needed to meet those. Outlines what needs to be done, but how to do it. Automated system rules should mirror an organization's written policies. Some companies have begun to include special security requirements for mobile devices as part of security policy. Educating employees and contract workers. Users can protect an organization's information system by guarding their passwords to protect against unauthorized access to their accounts, prohibiting other users to use their mail passwords, applying strict access controls, files and directory permissions to protect data from disclosure or destruction, reporting all unusual activities to an organization's IT security group, taking care to ensure the portable computing and data storage devices are protected. Hundreds of thousands of laptops are lost or stolen per year. Prevention. Organizations should implement a layered security solution to make computer break-in so difficult the hacker gives up. If a hacker breaks through one layer, another layer must be there to overcome. Layers of protection measure are explained in more detail in the following sections. Implementing a corporate firewall. Firewall. A system of software, hardware, or combination of both that stands guard between an organization's internal network, the internet, and limits network access based on the organization's access policy. Next Generation Firewall, NGFW. A hardware or software-based network security system that is able to detect and block sophisticated attacks by filtering network traffic dependent on the packet content. Goes deeper to inspect the payload of packets and match sequence of bytes for harmful activities. Installing antivirus software on personal computers. Antivirus software scans for specific sequences of bytes known as a virus signature that indicates the presence of a specific virus. If virus is found, antivirus software informs the user and may clean, delete, quarantine any files, directories, or disks affected with the malicious code. It is crucial that antivirus software be continually updated with the latest virus signatures. Implementing safeguards against attacks by malicious insiders. User account that remained active after employees leaves are potential security risks. IS staff must promptly delete computer accounts, login IDs, and passwords of departing employees. Another safeguard, create roles in users' account so that users have the authority to perform their responsibilities and nothing more. Addressing the most critical internet security threats. Computer hackers know that many organizations are slow to fix problems. Scan the internet for vulnerable software. U.S. CERT regularly updates the summary of the most frequently high-impact vulnerabilities being reported. Find it at www.us-cert.gov/current. Actions required to address these issues include installing a known patch to the software and keeping applications OSs up to date. Conducting a periodic IT audit. Security audits evaluates whether an organization has well-considered security policies in place and if doing the following. The audit should review the access to particular systems and data and what level authority each has. Test systems, safeguard, and ensure that they are operating as intended. Some organizations also perform penetration tests. Individuals try to break through the measure identified vulnerabilities. Detection. Intrusion detection systems, IDS. Software and/or hardware that monitors systems and networks resources and activities. Notify network security personnel when it detects network traffic that attempts to circumvent the security measures of a networked computer environment. Knowledge-based IDS contains information about specific attacks and systems vulnerability. Behavior-based IDS models normal behavior systems of the system's users' information collection various means. Response. A response plan should be developed well in advance of an incident, should be approved by the organization's legal department and senior management. A well-developed response plan helps keep the incident under technical and emotional control. In a security incident, the primary goal must be regain control of the limit and limit damage, not to attempt to monitor or catch the intruder. Incident notification. Key element of response plan is to define who is notified and who not to notify in the event of a security incident. Questions to cover. Within the company, who needs to be notified and what information does each person need to have? Under what conditions should the company contract major customers and suppliers? How does the company inform them of the disruption in business without unnecessarily alarming them? When should local authorities or FBI be contacted? A critical ethical questions: what to tell customers and others whose personal data may have been compromised? Protection of evidence and activity logs. Organizations should document all details of the security incident as it works to resolve the incident. Documentation captures valuable evidence for future prosecution and avoids data to help during the incident eradication and follow-up phases. Organizations should establish a set of document handling procedures using a legal department resource. Incident containment. The incident response plan should clearly define the process of deciding if an attack is dangerous enough to warrant shutting down or disconnecting critical systems from the network. Elements of effective response plan. How decisions for shutting down systems is made. How fast those decisions are made. Who makes them. Eradication. Before eradication, the IT security group must collect and log all possible criminal evidence from the system. Verify that all necessary backups are current, complete, and free of any malware. Create a forensic disk image of each compromised system. After eradication, a new backup must be created. A log should be kept of all actions taken. All backups should be created with enough frequency to enable a full and quick restoration of data if an attack destroys the original data. Incident follow-up. Follow-up should include determining how the organization's security was compromised, a review of determining exactly what happened, and evaluate how the organization responded. A detailed chronological of all events, an estimate of monetary damage, decision on how much effort should be put into capturing the perpetrator, and the decision of whether it has been ethical or legal duty to inform customers and clients. Computer forensics, a discipline that combines elements of the law of computer science to identify, collect, examine, and preserve data from computer systems, networks, and storage devices in a manner which preserves the integrity of the data collected. Computer forensic investigators work as a team to investigate the incident and conduct forensic analysis. Proper handling of computer forensics investigation is key to fighting computer crime successfully in the court. Numerous certifications exist: CCE, Certified Computer Examiner; CISSP, Certified Information System Security Professional; CSFA, cybersecurity forensic analyst, and a GCFA, Global Information Assurance Certification, certified forensic analyst. Fundamentals of Information Systems, 9th edition, Chapter 10, Ethical, Legal, and Social Issues of Information Systems. Computer waste and mistakes. Examples of computer-related waste include organizations operating on integrated information systems, acquire redundant systems, wasting information or resources. Computer-related mistakes refer to errors, failures, other computers' problems that make computer output incorrect and not useful. Most computer-related mistakes are caused by human error. Computer waste. Unintegrated information systems make it difficult to collaborate and share information. Leads to missed opportunities, increased cost, and loss of sales. Systems acquired in different organization units that perform the same functions. Increased hardware and software costs. Improper use of information systems and resources by employees. Sending text and personal email, playing computer games, surfing the web, shopping online, checking for updates on Instagram or Facebook, etc. Computer-related mistakes. Common causes: unclear expectations, inadequate training and feedback, program development that contains errors, incorrect input by data entry clerk. Some examples: data entry or data captured errors, programming errors, errors in handling files, mishandling of computer output, inadequate planning for control equipment malfunctions. Preventing computer-related waste and mistakes. IS efficiency and effectiveness involves establishing policies and procedures, implementing policies and procedures, monitoring policies and procedures, reviewing policies and procedures, establishing policies and procedures, training program as well as manuals and document covering the use of maintenance and information can help prevent computer waste and mistakes. Addition preventive measures. Requirements that all applications be approved through the established process before they're rolled out. Requirement of documentation and description of certain applications be filed and submitted to the central office. Establishing policies and procedures. Examples of other useful policies to minimize waste and mistakes include changes to critical tables, HTML, and URLs should be tightly controlled. User manuals should be available. Each system reported should indicate its general content and its title and specify the time period covered. The system should have control to prevent invalid and unreasonable data entries. Controls to ensure that data input, HTML, and URLs are valid, applicable, and posted in the right time frame. Users should implement proper procedures to ensure correct input. Implementing policies and procedures. The process of implementing varies by the organization. Most companies develop policies with advice from internal and external auditing groups. Training and communication are key to the successful aspects of the implementation policy. Figure 10, computing training. Training helps ensure acceptance and implementation of policies and procedures. Monitoring policies and procedures. Monitor routine practices to take the corrective action if necessary. Implementing internal audits to measure actual results against established goals, such as percentage of end-user reports produced on time, percentage of data input errors detected, number of input transactions entered by 8-hour shift. Audits can be used to track the amount of time employees spend on non-work-related information. Reviewing policies and procedures. Questions to be answered during the review process and policies. Do current policies cover existing practices adequately? Does the organization plan any new activities in the future? Who will handle them, and what must be done? Are contingencies and disasters covered? Privacy issues. Issues of privacy deal with the right to be left alone or to be withdrawn from public view. Data is constantly collected and stored on each of us. The data is often distributed over easily accessed networks without the knowledge of or consent. Who owns this information and knowledge? Privacy at work. Employers use technology and corporate policies to manage workers' productivity and protect the use of IS resources. Employers are concerned about inappropriate web surfing. Organizations monitor employees' email. More than half retain the review message. Most employers have policies that explicitly eliminates any expectations of privacy when an employee uses any company-owned computer, server, or email system. The courts have ruled that without a reasonable expectation of privacy, there is no Fourth Amendment protection for employees. Privacy in email. Federal law permits employees to monitor email sent and received by employees. Email messages that have been erased from hard drives can be retrieved and used in lawsuits. Email use among public office might violate open meeting laws. Privacy in instant messages. To protect your privacy, your employer properties, do not send personal or private IMs at work. Select a testing or IM app that receives high security rating. Disable text preview that appear in pop-up windows on a locked screen. Do not open files or click the messages from people you do not know. Never send sensitive personal data via IM. Choose non-revealing, non-gender specific, unprovocative IM screen names. Do not send embarrassing messages. Privacy and personal sensing devices. RFID tags, microchips with antenna, embedded in many of the products we buy. Example, medical containers, clothing, computer printers, car keys, library books, tires. Generate radio transmission that, if appropriate measures are not taken, can lead to potential privacy concerns. Some states have passed legislation prohibiting the implantation of RFID chips under people's skin without their approval. Mobile crowd sensing, MCS, is a means of acquiring data through sensors, enhanced mobile devices, and then sharing data with individuals, healthcare providers, utility firms, and local and state and federal government agencies. Privacy in the Internet. Privacy concerns with the Internet, sending messages, visiting websites, buying products over the Internet. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA of 1998, impacts the design and operation of websites that cater to children. Social network servers, examples, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, Tumblr, and Instagram. Parents should discuss potential dangers, check their children's profile, and monitor children's activity. Privacy and Internet libel concern. Libel, publishing an unintentional false written statement that is damaging to the person or organization's reputation. Individuals and post information to the Internet using anonymous email accounts or screen names must be careful that what they post on the Internet avoids libel charges. Privacy and fairness in information use. Selling information to other companies can be very lucrative. Many companies store and sell the data they collect on customers, employees, and others. When is the information storage and use fair and reasonable to the people whose data is stored and sold? Do people have a right to know about to decide what data is stored and used? Table 10.2, the right to know and your ability to decide federal privacy law and regulations. Privacy in filtering and classifying Internet content. Filtering software screens Internet content. Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA. Schools and libraries subject to CIPA do not receive the discounts offered by the E-rate program unless they certify that they have certain Internet safety measures in place to block or filter visual depictions that are obscene, child pornography, or are harmful to minors. Table 10.3, Top Rater Internet Filter Software. Corporate privacy policies. Most organizations realize the invasion of privacy can damage their reputation, turn away customers, dramatically reduce revenues and profit. Most organizations maintain privacy policies. BBB recommends the following elements: policy, choice, access, security, redress, updates. Individual efforts in privacy. Protect privacy. Laws do not protect individuals' privacy. Many people take steps to increase their own privacy. To protect privacy, find out what is stored on you in existing databases. Be careful when you share information about yourself. Be proactive, protect your privacy. Take extra care when purchasing anything from the website. Work environment. Use of computer-based information systems have changed the workforce. Jobs that require IS literacy have increased. Less skilled positions have been eliminated. While information systems increase productivity and efficiency, there are inherent concerns with their use. Health concerns, occupational stress, anxiety about job insecurity, loss of control, incompleteness, and demotion. Seated immobility in mobile thromboembolism, SIT, formation of blood clots in legs or lungs, repetitive stress injury, RSI, injury or disorder of muscles, nerves, tendons, ligaments, or joints used by repetitive motion. Carpal tunnel syndrome, CTS, inflammation of a nerve that connects the forearm and palm of the wrist. Avoiding health and environmental problems. Two primary causes of computer-related health problems are a poorly designed work environment, failure to take regular breaks or stretch the muscles and rest the eyes, work stressors or hazardous activities associated with unfavorable conditions of poorly designed work environment, repetitive motion, awkward posture, and eye strains are examples. Ergonomics is the science of designing machines, products, and systems to maximize safety, comfort, and efficiency of those who use them. Flexibility is a major component of ergonomics and the importance of consideration design of computer devices. Avoiding health and environmental problems. Checklist to determine if properly seated or correctly positioned keyboard. Your elbows are near your body in an open angle to allow circulation to lower arms and hands. Your arms are nearly perpendicular to the floor. Your wrists are nearly straight. The height of the surface holding your keyboard or mouse is 1 to 2 inches above your thighs. The keyboard is centered in front of your body. The monitor is about 1 arm length, 20 to 26 inches away. The top of your monitor is at eye level. The chair and backrest that supports your curve of your lower lumbar back. Ethical issues and information systems. Ethical issues deal with what is generally considered right or wrong. IS professionals are often faced with their own unique set of ethical challenges. Some IS professionals organizations have developed a code of ethics to guide people working in IS professions. What is ethics? Ethical behavior conforms to generally accepted social norms. Morals are one person's beliefs about right and wrong. Law is a system of rules that tell us that we can or cannot do, including ethical considerations in the decision-making. General steps taken during the decision-making process: gather information, develop a problem statement, consult those who involve, as well as others appropriate resources, identify options, weigh options, choose an option, implement an option, review results. Some decisions may become complicated because they involve significant value conflicts. Code of ethics. Code of ethics state the principles and core values essential to set of people and therefore govern their behavior. It can become a reference point for weighing what is legal and what is ethical. Mishandling of social issues discussed in this chapter include waste, mistakes, crime, privacy, health, and ethics can devastate an organization. Prevention of those problems and recovery from them are important aspects of managing information, and information systems is critical corporate. Code of Ethics, Figure 10.7. Legal versus ethical. Just because an activity is defined as legal, does that mean that it's ethical?